coming on the EdTech India Club podcast series, and you are one of the first few I thought I should get started with. Of course, Vardarajan was the first, and obviously because he's the founder of the club. And since it was started, around 2015, there have been close to about 900 members. And how do we get to know each other? This is probably one of the ways that people can know about who Sheel is, what she has done so far in her career. 2, 3 careers that we have gone through, the transformations we have gone through, right? And more importantly, what you are doing today with the children, what are you passionate about, what ticks you on, what makes you get up every day morning and not only teach your son or talk to your son, but also in terms of other children that you, interact with and their parents and the community as a whole, right? So I think probably the best way to get started is if you can articulate your. I know I don't think I will be doing full justice if I go through the entire journey within a matter of minute or two. But just for the viewers who are going to see this podcast, right? If you can summarize in terms of your career journey and what you have, and then we can probably go into the details.
Sounds good, Ram. And first of all, thank you for having me. And I also saw Varad's episode, and it was very conversational, and it was nice and engaging. So thank you for doing this. I think wonderful initiative you are doing, and as you rightly said, we are 900 members in that group, and obviously, other than the asynchronous WhatsApp message, there are fewer opportunities to interact. So I think this will go a long way. Maybe some of us can help you do it maybe in later sessions. Definitely you have
Absolutely.
started it well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So my journey started in Prayagraj. I was born and brought up in Uttar Pradesh. Well traveled in India now. This is my 17th home I'm living in. Lived almost in all the metros and some of the tier 2, tier 3 cities also. A mother of a 9-year-old, product manager by profession, engineer and MBA, the regular journey that probably most of us go through. Do your
Right.
BTech and then do your MBA. So that's what I did. Yeah, as you rightly said, I've transitioned a lot in my career, even in the industries. Started as an operations officer, became engineering officer, became program manager, became product manager, and finally now doing an edtech journey. So yeah, it's been a nice journey, and that's the summary.
Great. Great. That's under a minute. Not that I'm counting, but couple of things. One is uh, observation, not only of your journey, but also to some extent mine and others, right? The careers of our forefathers, right, especially our previous generation, was all about, okay, I get into a particular company or a bank or military or whatever career, and then they stay on for about 25, 30 years or even retire from it. But then I think we have probably started to explore a lot more, and probably because the world has become flat, as Thomas Friedman said, right, where everybody has come closer. So that is, I see that in your transformation also going through different career paths and then now taking the tech journey, right? What before you answer or reflect on that and go deeper in terms of when you started, I just read on your LinkedIn post that everybody started calling you sir, at least initially,
Yeah. So that was during
right?
Indian Oil actually. And you won't believe there were people, there were drivers who used to call me Uncle Ji. I mean, that's the worst that I have heard so far, Sardar Ji,
Okay.
because they don't know the word. So madam is not in their dictionary. So yeah, it was
Right,
fun.
right. Yeah, yeah. No, that was interesting, and I haven't heard that before, so that's good. So let's start with your educational, journey, especially with your BTech. And why did you choose that? And then, uh, and you started with a career, and then later on you did your MBA, if I'm not mistaken, right? So if you can start with your BTech and what drove you to that, and is that still in you in terms of the technical abilities and knowledge that you have gone through as a product manager? If you can expand on that, that'll be great.
Yeah, sure, Ram. So whether it is in me, not completely, but the analytical part stays with you, I think, lifelong. So that's what
Right.
I do want to start with. I
Hmm.
started preparing or thinking about IIT JEE early on. I think in my grade 5, 6 is when, because both my parents were younger in their brother sisters group, and hence the cousins were all elders. So I started seeing people going into IIT, BITS, Pilani, and all. I think when I was in grade 2, and that is when that inspiration started. In fact, a couple of tech fest I attended in IIT Kanpur when I was quite early in my middle school. And so
Mm.
those were like amazing, right? You are getting schooled in Prayagraj, a very small town, and suddenly you are seeing IIT Kanpur. You are staying there for a few nights, and it was amazing. So I think that is where the journey for engineering
Right.
preparation started early on, I would say. And I didn't do any tuitions and all. I
Hmm.
ended up in AI Triple E. So that is when. So that was again a very funny story. It was a negotiation with my father, because because I was getting an IT Allahabad, which is like 4 kilometers from my house, and I wanted to go to as far from home
Mm.
as possible, because I felt that otherwise I'll not be able to grow.
Right.
Because my father mother are protective,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
obvious reasons.
Sure.
In a you're being born and brought up in Uttar Pradesh as a girl, so that's why I think we settled for Gujarat, which is middle India, and
Sure.
that's why I ended up in NIT Surat. So that's the story behind going there.
Good. Good. Yeah.
BTech 4 years, as you know, for any
Right.
engineer, it is like I think the most fun days of our lives. You learn, you grow, you become independent, you
Mm.
make friends on your own. I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that you do on your own. So, so that I think was really transformative. I ran college elections. I lost,
Hmm.
but it was fun. So I think that journey helped.
Right. Right. Yeah. So in terms of your professional career, right after you did your BTech, you joined IOC, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So tell me about IOC, and then you went on to become a product manager. How was that experience?
Yeah, so first job at ISB was excellent, from broadening the horizon perspective, and I think toughening me up, if I say so. So right from your college, when you're coming out, you're like naive, shy, not very vocal about your requirements, etc. And I was suddenly placed in Panipat, Haryana, working with drivers. So I was the only female there in that plant, surrounded by I think
Mhm.
100 plus men. um, it took me 2 months to get the courage to talk to my manager that I needed a female washroom there. So so I think it
Yeah.
toughened me up. So yeah, it was a good experience for sure. And I did that job for around 4.5 years, almost 4 years, 11 months before I moved on to ISB. I think one of the things
Mm.
was that it is great in terms of learning experience. I got an award from Sheila Dikshit and I was posted in Delhi, so it was good. But I think I was missing the technical part of it, and that's where I moved to ISB, and then later on moved to product management. So Amazon
Right.
was
Right.
excellent. Um, uh, the kind of people you work with, I think that's very important because they raise you. So almost every day, there was no single day when I was not learning a thing. I think that's most
Yeah.
fun part about that 5.5 years that I had there. Um,
Mm.
so yeah.
So one of the things that I wanted to ask you was, see, I think. especially in India, many are very conversant with the term project management, right? Not so much on the product management, right? And there is a reason for it. There is nothing wrong with why they do not. Is basically because we are more service oriented, right? Even today we are more service oriented than building products, though that is changing, right? If you can kind of articulate in terms of what a product manager is all about, right? I think, especially for the budding entrepreneurs who are coming up to speed, I think that would really help.
Sure. So I'll try. That's definitely a complex question, but I'll try and do justice to it. So see, operations job or any other regular job of a project management definitely has a lot of value. It stitches, it keeps everybody together. It's basically you are working across stakeholders, chasing the timelines, dividing it into milestones. All of this is great. A product management comes with a little bit more tech mindset to it. I think one of the key differentiator here is the scalable part of it. So project cannot be scaled. You need 10 different people to keep scaling it, right? Whereas when you are looking at a product, it is basically you have launched something, and now you are looking people to
Hmm.
adopt it, and then it will be a more scalable version of the work that you have done. I think that's how I would like to summarize it, if you have to summarize in a line. I have seen
Right.
people who enjoy both sides of it. I have seen like amazing project managers. I have seen amazing product managers. I think it's what you like to do, probably.
Correct, correct. Is it also that a product manager also envisions how the market is looking at the market segments, what kind of requirements are is something that a particular company is looking at, right? Gathering, not necessarily gathering the requirements, but at least understanding the market and which direction the company should go, right?
Definitely, definitely. So the
Right.
strategic, that's the strategic component that comes with it. So basically,
Mm.
you work
Right.
customer backwards, and in fact, the AI thing is coming in, and we all saying that the how part is getting solved, and why and what is something that is probably the crucial thing to be decided now, and that is exactly where a PM
Right.
comes in. What is to be built, why it should be built, what target segment you should go after, what features
Mm.
to include, all of these things, basically the defining of that customer problem to an end state of what you want.
Right, right, right. And can you briefly talk about some of the challenges you faced? Obviously, asking for your own toilet is one thing when, amongst 100 men. But beyond that, I'm sure that you would have faced other challenges in terms of being a product manager at Amazon or, right? If you can talk about one or two challenges and how you overcome those challenges.
Sure. So one of the things that I would like to talk about, especially from Amazon point of view, is anybody who has worked with Amazon will tell this aloud, that Amazon is very heavy on two things. One is document writing, and the second one is its leadership principles. And
Hmm.
until I had joined Amazon, I was definitely not a good writer. So I used to write, but I remember my second manager, when he reviewed my doc, it was a pure bloodbath. It was all red, red, red reviewed. And I asked him,
Hmm.
how much marks will you give to me out of 10? And he told me minus
Right.
one. And then, so I think that was one thing to learn. And as a product manager, you're supposed to write, right? That's your first job, because you're supposed to define that strategy, define the vision. You're supposed to write the requirements. So I think I was lucky to have good managers, and he like really trained me well. And
Hmm.
by the time I left Amazon, I had become the doc bar raiser. So where you train new people how to write docs. So I think that's one thing I learned in 5.5 years, which I still continue. So all the LinkedIn articles
Hmm.
or all the books that I have written, I think I owe to them. So that's one.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And the second
Yeah.
part is the
No, that
LPs.
what is that?
So Amazon is very heavy on its leadership principles. So a lot of companies have this.
Leadership principles.
Yeah, a lot of companies have it
Okay.
like written, but Amazon lives it. Like people, we live it on a day. So every conversation with the leadership, you are calling it out aloud that this is the decision because of this LP, and like it gets imbibed
I
in you
see.
if you're working there. And that customer backwards approach, wherein you are like, as a PM, it is very important that you start with the customer problem rather than the tech part of it. So those all things, I think it gets ingrained in you if you are working there.
Right, right. Interesting, interesting. So I haven't worked for Amazon. I think this is something interesting that I'm learning today in terms of how Amazon looks at things, right? So that's good. So how did you start looking at, you and I have had, offline conversations on this, but for our members and viewers, where did the essence of becoming an entrepreneur and especially into education start for you?
Yeah, so it started, it was a personal journey, I would say. So I had been done, I as a person like to keep learning and keep doing new things. So that's one, definitely.
Mhm.
And I had been doing product management for good 8 to 10 years now. Second part of it
Mm,
was, I was not extremely happy with the kind of education my son was getting. And those were
mm,
it was sad part that some of the challenges were what I used to have it like 30 years back. And when I started doing
mm,
some research in this area, it came out that it's not just limited to my house, right? It's there almost like a lot of people in India and even abroad have similar challenges. And I've been
right.
that person who people come to for notes and all, right? I've always been into education, like myself. So I thought that why not,
Hmm.
like, let me give it a try. If it works, I may be able to help people.
Great.
So that's the idea.
Yeah, 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 absolutely, absolutely. Right. So um, you have been an entrepreneur for the past, what, 2, 3 years now, right?
Yeah, around 1.5 years.
Right, right. So I'm sure you would have thought about, even before that, I think, how do you pronounce your company name? Is it Fugay or?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because I don't want to get it wrong, right? So, how did you come up with this name?
Um, so I wanted something childlike because the primary target segment that I am aiming here for my venture is grade 1 to grade 8. Uh, so
Hmm,
I didn't want to go with the regular like AI skilling and all those so I wanted something distinct and something related to child. And a balloon is definitely one thing. And plus,
hmm,
coming from Prayagraj again, I wanted it to be little bit. It should relate to where I am from or who I am. So that's why I think Fugge came out.
right.
It represents the joy,
I see.
curiosity, soaring high. So that's the buoyancy. So that is all what I am trying to bring in here.
Good, good, good. So, and primary education was basically because of your son, and his age, right?
That is one
Right.
factor.
Okay.
Definitely, that's one factor. The other factor was that AI
Okay.
is coming big time, right? And by the time I think schools will adapt and absorb things, 3 4 years may have passed, right? I mean, schools are bodies; they need to react. They will take so. And the third thing I felt was that we have some gaps when it comes to academics and industry, which we keep seeing from articles
Hmm.
and researchers and newspapers, right? That the real skills keep are missing. And also I think more and more industry people have to come back and give something to the academics so that we are able to bridge that gap.
Sure, sure. Okay. So, if you can broadly describe the kind of programs that you're, bringing to the children in that age group. Of course, your son is also part of the journey, and talk about Fugay from that perspective, and also talk about your business model, the kind of programs that you have, and the business model that you uh, have for Fugay.
Sure. So we are doing it for both B2B as well as B2C. We
Hmm.
offer physical books as well as workshops for schools and groups of children in online model. So both these are
Okay.
there. Both these are in are live. So some of the schools we are working with, which have Fuggae schools and Fuggae books, and we conducted workshops. And
Hmm.
we have also conducted workshops in a B2C mode with a smaller cohort of children, like 8 to 10 children. Pan India kids have joined. Some of the kids from abroad has also joined our workshops. So these are the two models
I
that we
see.
are working on. Primarily working on 21st century skills, like AI,
Mm.
life skills, entrepreneurial skills, financial literacy, communications. So these are what we are trying to upskill the children.
Okay. And does the model or the curriculum and whatever you do in a B2B model inside the school different from the one that you do it online?
It is different. It is different. It is
Okay.
different
Okay.
from the rigor perspective. The school
Mm.
books and the workshops are having mass appeal. The one that we are doing in an online setting with B2C is a little bit on the higher rigor, because there is
Right.
personal
Right.
attention
Okay.
and we can pick up the pace and all those things.
Correct. Correct. That brings to the other question, right? So, if a typical school approaches you, or you are talking to a typical prospective school, is there a minimum set of students that you look for, or is it one class, or they can, take it for the entire set of grades that your program is in?
So most of the time, the demo workshops that we do are for specific students, because the
Okay.
school is trying to check how we are providing and all. But once we
Okay.
that schools also look for a little bit more a structure in the program, like, because for them it will be like there will be kids who are going from 2 to 3 now, so they need to cover that. So it's not been a gap there, like from both sides, I would say.
Right. Right. That's good. And I'm assuming that all of this is experiential, right? So there's all practical things that they have to do, whether it is the B2B or the B2C program.
Correct. So B2B, B2C both are completely experiential and engaging immersive programs. B2B, children are learning to design stories, storybooks for them, video games they are making
Mm.
reels. One child recently, after learning from us, had actually presented a very cute video on life cycle of a butterfly in their science project. So these are the kind of things children
Nice.
are picking up. In our B2C
Mm.
setting, it's again, as I said, little bit on the higher rigor. So there we have Harvard and ISP kind of case studies. Every session
Hmm.
covers one industry. So, for example, when we are teaching respect others and react appropriately, therein we are bridging,
Mm.
teaching it with Amul and Pepsi versus Coca-Cola ad wars. So just as an example, right? So Amul responded in a
I
very
see.
nice way to Pepsi rather than like going into that price war. So everything is being taught using industry examples, real life examples, basically connect the dots. So they know what they are learning is actually being
Correct.
used
Correct.
later on.
Correct. Correct. And it also seems like it is contemporary. So it is not something that happened about 10 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever, right? So you take it from a current context most of the
Correct.
time is what I'm
Correct.
hearing.
And
Yeah.
also, what I
Good.
have seen is when you tell children these examples, they feel really motivated to learn that topic, because otherwise they feel this is all, what is it that I'm going to use it for, right? So, like trigonometry, I don't know what I
Correct.
used for. I mean, now I know it maybe enhance my analytical skills. But if you tell
Right.
where it is being used, it increases the motivation to learn that topic.
Right. And the school program, is it on a weekly basis or is it only for a certain number of sessions?
The B2B, the school program you said?
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Is
So
it
most
for
of the
for
Yeah. So most
yeah,
of
go
the
ahead.
schools that we have been working with are actually having one session per week for their computer course and AI course. Some of them have two
Okay.
also, one practical and one theory. So accordingly, we are giving them
Hmm.
the lesson plan. The book remains same,
Okay.
obviously. So
Okay.
every book has roughly 8 to 10 chapters, as is there in every school. Normally we have in school books. The lesson plan varies with respect to how much sessions. 1 to 2 per week is what schools go with.
Great. Great. And you give the books, you give the training to the teachers so that
Correct.
they can. Uh,
Correct.
right. Okay.
So we
Okay.
handhold the
Okay.
teachers
Right.
so that they are
Right.
able to do those projects and be able to. And in fact, we have like monthly touch-up models also. So we touch base with them. So the first one is offline, but then later on we do it online with them.
Sure. Sure. And in terms of the B2C, you said it's much more with rigor
Integrated.
and so does it also happen once or twice a week, or is
Yes.
it only during certain?
Yeah, so
Okay,
B2C is about to get launched. We have started with the demo sessions last week.
I see.
So
Hmm.
we have conducted AI workshops for B2C, but now what we are rolling out is actually a much holistic development program, which has all of these different modules we discussed on the 21st century skills. It is also once a week and it is on Sunday. So only 60 minutes per week, but in an annual program.
Right, right. Okay, okay. And any challenges that you have faced so far, especially with the B2B, with the working with the schools, and how are you trying to, overcome those challenges?
Yeah, so maybe you can guide here. I will tell the challenge and what we have seen is that be it be parents or schools, every person is coming with a preset mindset, and changing the mindset is
Right,
the toughest part. So there are
right,
people who
right.
are convinced that children need to learn 21st century skills, and discussing, and they may or they may not select my product is a different story. But talking to them and selling or not selling them becomes very easier, versus if you're
Yeah,
talking to
right.
people who are very determined that traditionally it has worked this way and this is how it should continue to
Mm,
work because it has worked so far. So
right.
I think that is the biggest challenge. And B2C, you can ignore one parent, but B2B, you can't ignore the entire school because the principal or the management. So I think that's been the biggest challenge, and maybe you can guide there.
Correct, correct. No, no. So I think B2B and B2C has its own challenges because in a B2B model, as you rightly pointed out, it is the number of children and you are basically contracted with a school. So you have to take care of that. And essentially, the school is also involved in that process, right? Obviously, in a B2C model, you are dealing with the parent one on one and the child, of course. Even though in a 60-minute session, as you rightly say, that multiple children will be coming into the session, but from a challenge perspective, you can always have a one-on-one session with the parent. Uh, I haven't done that much of B2C, but one pointer that has worked for me, and this is something that you can try, is basically ask the parents that who have convinced by your program and they see the benefit to talk to the parents who are not yet right convinced. uh, the peer talk always helps between parent to parent,
Yeah.
right? That is something that it has helped us when we were doing the life skills program and before the pandemic. That has helped us, and that also improves the percentage of parents and children who would probably come out with a much more positive mindset in terms of trying to see what this program is all about,
Yeah.
right? So, of course, if I think of anything else, I will definitely pass it on. Now, moving on to the future, right? So obviously, you have just started with the B2B. You are just started with the B2C demo programs. I'm sure you will get that launched very soon, and I'm sure you will be successful with that. But in terms of the future, let's talk a little bit about AI. We have even in the groups we have been talking a little bit about AI. Having come from a product space, having had a sense of what the school system is and having worked with the schools on both sides, as a parent and as well as an entrepreneur, what do you see are the challenges that, or even the direction that schools might take in the next 1 or 2 years? I'm not even looking at 5 years, uh, right? At least in the next 6 months to 2 years, in terms of AI.
Um,
Are they open to it? Are they saying, okay, we'll wait and watch?
I think there is a mixed basket we have, as we discussed. Like we have all sorts of mindset out there. I do see that there are a
Mm-hmm.
lot many schools now who are open to trying things, who are reaching out, who want their children to be upskilled in AI. And I think rightly so.
Mm-hmm.
If we see that Singapore and US, I mean, these are the countries who have passed legislative rule itself for teaching their children right from grade one, right? So they are doing it because they are seeing something roll out in the future. So I think schools are realizing, boards already have passed guidelines. CBSE has already made it mandatory grade 6 onwards. I think schools are adapting well. I think major challenge for schools where I see is upskilling their teachers, and that's where I think players like us can help. I mean, I think we can make it our responsibility not to just leave it with the physical books part, and but handhold the teachers so that it actually reaches where we want it to reach. Right? Ultimately, the children should get that knowledge that we are trying, and teachers are the best people to give that. Like. They are right there with their children throughout the week, and I think if we upskill them, then that's the best bet I think we can have.
Any challenge in training the teachers so far? Because they also have to change, right, their mindset in saying, okay, I have to learn what this AI is all about, because until then they will not be able to basically train the students on the skills that are expected out of your program.
Yes, you are right. So most of the teachers I have interacted are actually open to learning these things. Where I do see is
That's
that
good.
teachers are overburdened when it comes to the timelines. They are stressed already, and
Right.
I think that is where we, whoever is going to watch this, we as parents can actually help. As some of the teachers called out that even if the child gets 1 or 2 marks less in the exam, parents complain to the teachers that you may not have taught well, or why is my son or daughter not getting full marks, right? So I think give teachers and students space to learn, to fail, and it's fine. Like having spent, you have spent so many years in corporate, marks are not going to help in any regard anybody, right? So
Right.
I think I topped the school. I'm still sitting here, my friends are also there. I do not see any difference. So I think we need to come out of
Correct.
that mindset of marks. I think that same discussion we were having in the tech group also today, and I think rightly so. Once I
Right.
think that mind shift happens and we give some space to teachers to explore, to learn, I think we will be able to reach where we want to reach.
Right, right. And looking across the globe, and we all do that, right? So seems like India is positioned very well if we can change that mindset and attitude and shift our focus more towards skills. The medium, how it happens, it might be through the school, it might be through an individual program or various things, right? So there is always a means to the end, right? But the important part is how do you provide the education and the skill sets and the learning and prepare the children for the next few decades that they are going to be taking over from us, right? And because it's going to be an entirely different world than what you and I probably grew up with. I did. I forgot to ask you. There is some mention of Alpha Leaders Program, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, it is the same program, Ram, that we discussed, that it is going to be for B2C. It is the
Oh, okay.
flagship program we are launching, which is based on the case studies,
Okay.
method, role plays, and all those things. The trial demo
Okay.
classes is already started for that. I think we tied up recently with Toastmasters International for the communications module. So there are a number of modules. In fact, we have also onboarded one ex Air Force lady officer who has fought in Kargil. She will be conducting the life skills for children. Nobody better than military
Oh,
police.
that's very good.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
shaped well. We have validated the content with child psychologists to ensure that we are able to dump down those case studies to the kids level. So it's about to roll out, I
Right.
think, in a month.
No, that's very important because even when we were doing life skills, many of the schools would ask us in terms of whether we have a psychologist on board, right? Because these are not maths or science or core subjects, right?
Correct.
So definitely, I think having on board psychologists and things like that definitely helps from a credibility perspective and also from a program perspective because you are in that age group of the primary children age group and parents sometimes do worry about those aspects. In turn, the schools also worry about it, right? So that is good. And also, I think we do talk about, and even in the Hindu webinar that I went through, where you were part of you were one of the participants there. You all talked about the guardrails, right? I'm sure in your program also, since you are curating it, you have placed those guardrails so that the as a parent and also as an educator, so that the parents and the schools are not worried from that perspective.
Correct, very correct, Ram. In fact, in our program, we are touching less on using it for homework. We are actually touching how you can make this. So we are actually going behind the scenes to understand how it is working. Our program is mostly on the logical reasoning and computation thinking rather than the user. So that's why I said that the rigor of our program is a little bit one notch higher, I would say.
Good, good, good. Okay. So I think any additional points that you want to cover, which I haven't touched upon in terms of your program, or feel free. Go ahead.
I think I would only like to summarize. I think we had an excellent discussion. I enjoyed. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Just want to
Right.
add that as parents, as educators, it is important for us to upskill our children with respect to skills and knowledge and everything. But it is equally
Right.
important for us to prepare them for a world that is changing faster than ever. Uh,
Yeah.
the importance of lifelong learning cannot be stressed more, and
Hmm.
we need to model ourselves, we need to inform them that things are changing and develop that love for learning, I think, and then they will be fine, because you can't teach everything, right? We can't I'll teach this and then tomorrow things will change. So
Yeah. So definitely, I think you absolutely put it right, and many people do say that you have to see the kind of changes that are happening on a daily basis. Just this morning, I was just wondering in terms of the daily change or a weekly change that is happening in terms of whether it is artificial intelligence or whatever it is, right? And you cannot keep up with it,
mm,
right? One of the discussions I want to get into, and probably you need to be part of that, is when there are so many things, it's like, you watch a sci-fi movie, right? And there are so many asteroids coming at you, right? And you don't know which one you should duck and which one you should basically, counter it head on, right? I'm not. I'm giving that analogy from a perspective of saying there is tools are coming, every day, thick and fast,
mm.
right? How do you keep up with them,
It's tough.
right? And which ones do you think will be useful to you, which ones you should not be spending time on, and it's a waste of time,
Correct.
right? And as an adult with a lot of experience, I'm confused, to be very honest with you,
It is coming
right?
out very fast. I think if you miss updates for a month in AI, you feel you are ages behind, right? So
Right,
many things
right,
roll out. I think that's where the important part is, that going back to the fundamentals and understanding the fundamentals rather than tools are great and we need to learn it, because this is the current what you will be using, I will be using to do my work. But
right.
especially for children, understanding those first principles, the fundamentals, concepts, which they can later on use to build those tools, or maybe manage any other tool that comes out. I think that is
Hmm.
very critical at their age.
Correct, correct. Yeah, I think it's a great discussion. Thank you very much, Sheel, for being part of this podcast. And as I said, I do what you also started in terms of the KT series in the EdTech Club. I think that's also a very good initiative. Hopefully, there will be more and more members volunteering, not only to take up podcasts, because I believe in the power of a team, right? And we all need to work together. And I might only know about 10 or 15 people in the group. And if others can take it up and spread it around, then we have a comprehensive database. Not only a database, it's also about how do we know each other, how do we complement each other, how do we work together, right? Today I may not, unless I know Sheel Jaitley or you know about what I do and what my company does, we will not know how to synergize, how to combine our strengths and work together, right?
Correct.
Yes,
Correct.
we might find competitions too, right? But even in competitors, I've seen that sometimes you are working in two different market segments, right? And as long as you work in two different market segments, you can still complement each other, right? So I think that is the purpose of why I started this. But again, thanks for coming on board. But one last question, right, before I let you go. If you had a magic wand in your hand, what would you use it for?
That's a great question, Ram. I would love to answer. At the end of the podcast, do send me one.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Thanks. Yeah.
I think I would like to provide the means and get the courage to every child to reach its own potential. I think if I can do something, I'll probably do this. Once once you have reached your potential, and probably we are at a stage where we did what we wanted to do.
Hmm.
We may not be like, I may not be Jeff Bezos, but I feel content what I am
Right.
doing. I think
Yeah.
that feeling is a bliss. And if everybody can have it, then I think world will be peaceful.
Great. Great. Thank you, Sheel. And good luck to you and Fuggae. And we will definitely. I'm hoping that many people watching this video will start reaching out to you, and let's grow the community even further.
Thank you,
Thank
Ram.
you.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to have been here. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.